Before the fire, London is not yet a museum piece of history. It is a living animal. At first light, the River Thames slides past the wharves like a sheet of pewter, tugging at ropes, lifting barges, carrying the smell of salt, fish, and wet oak. Church bells mark the hours with a calm authority. Market stalls unfold like bright wings. In narrow lanes, cats weave between boots, and smoke from 1,000 hearths rises in gentle ribbons, promising warmth and bread. It is September 1666. The Great Plague has loosened its grip at last, and the city dares to breathe again. London's people, bruised but unbroken, return to work, to worship, to gossip, believing, as humans always do, that the worst has already happened. But beneath this morning's beauty lies a design flaw, and it is fatal. The City of London is a maze of timber-framed houses, their upper stories jutting over the street like clasped hands. Many walls are smeared with pitch. Roofs and beams have been baked bone dry by a hot, rain-starved summer. Along the river stand warehouses packed with oil, tallow, hemp, brandy, fuel stacked beside flame. There is no modern fire brigade. Protection is communal. Leather buckets, long ladders, hand-pumped engines, iron fire hooks to tear down walls before a blaze can leap. Late on Saturday night, in a bakery on Pudding Lane, the city's fate is kneaded into silence. The ovens of Thomas Fariner, baker to King Charles II, have glowed all day. Flour dust hangs in the air, faint as fog. Somewhere, a coal remains alive, an ember with a patient hunger. Just after midnight, the spark finds its answer. Fire blooms inside the wooden belly of the building, licking beams, then roaring as it discovers the stored kindling of a working household. At around 1 o'clock, a servant wakes to heat and crackling. Fariner and his family scramble upward, then out, climbing through an upstairs window into the next house. The alarm spreads as sound always does, faster than understanding. Watchmen shout. Church bells begin to peal, not in celebration, but in warning. Neighbors form bucket lines from the Thames, passing water hand to hand, as if teamwork alone can bargain with a growing god. For a moment, it almost works. This is London. Fires are common. Most are beaten back. But tonight the wind is wrong, an easterly gale that presses oxygen into the flames like a bellows. Sparks rise and travel. They land on rooftops and in hay stores. The fire leaps from house to house as though the street itself is a fuse. By dawn, whole rows of buildings are burning, and the air tastes of soot and salt and fear. The Lord Mayor, Sir Thomas Bloodworth, is summoned. He arrives to a scene already slipping from human scale. Flames chewing at riverfront warehouses, heat shimmering above the lanes. But the mayor hesitates. Many properties are rented. The owners cannot be found. Who will pay for what must be destroyed to save what remains?
This is my land.
We signed a contract.
That is not what we agreed.
In that delay, the fire grows teeth. The wind drives it west along the Thames in a broad, bow-shaped arc. The city's tight architecture, overhanging stories and cramped alleys, turns into a chimney. By Sunday afternoon, the Great Fire has become a firestorm. The sound is no longer crackling. It is a continuous roar, like surf hitting cliffs. Flames whip sideways, horizontal, and the heat is so intense that people feel their eyebrows singe from across a street. Wooden wharves ignite. Barrels burst. Tallow and spirits feed the inferno, and the river itself reflects a second sun. Boats crowd the Thames, families escaping with whatever their arms can hold. Bedding, cages of chickens, a bundle of papers that represent a life. Some push their possessions into churches, believing stone will protect them. But stone too can fail. Iron softens, and above it all, ash begins to fall. Night brings no mercy. The sky over London turns the color of molten copper. From the south bank, the city glows like a lantern whose glass has shattered. Carts jam the lanes, horses rear, people shout directions that mean nothing now. The old Roman wall, meant to defend London from invaders, becomes another enemy, channeling crowds through a handful of narrow gates. And yet, amid chaos, there are small, terrible clarities. London Bridge does not become the city's escape route. Earlier fires have left a gap in its buildings, and that gap now saves it from ignition. In each street, families move their belongings again and again, 4, 5 times, chasing safety that keeps retreating. England is locked in the Second Anglo-Dutch War, and suspicion becomes tinder. Immigrant workers are harassed, beaten, dragged through streets already burning with fear. The Crown steps in. King Charles II travels by barge to inspect the devastation, and he does what the city cannot. He overrules hesitation. His brother James, Duke of York, is placed in command. Command posts are established around the perimeter. Soldiers and volunteers are ordered to pull down buildings and make hard lines of empty space. For the first time, the response becomes coordinated. But coordination is not control. The wind still rules, the streets still choke, and the fire advances like an army that does not tire. On Tuesday, the fire reaches its peak, a day London will remember even when memory itself is ash. The flames surge north into Cheapside, devouring shops and guild halls, and then west toward the River Fleet. For a moment, officials hope the fleet will act as a moat of water and mud. They build a line at Fleet Bridge. They brace. The fire jumps it anyway, carried on embers that ride the gale and land beyond the barrier. Now the blaze threatens the court at Whitehall. It threatens the very seat of power. The Royal Exchange burns. The Guildhall burns. London is being dismantled, molecule by molecule, in the glare of its own destruction. And then, St. Paul's. Old St. Paul's Cathedral is presumed invulnerable, its thick walls a sanctuary. But St. Paul's is under repair. Scaffolding of dry timber wraps the great body of the church like kindling. Tuesday night, the flames reach it, the scaffolds catch, and within minutes the cathedral is a torch. The lead roof begins to melt, running in bright streams, as if the building itself is bleeding metal. By morning, the symbol of London's endurance is a shell, black, broken, steaming in the dawn. As the fire turns back east, against the wind, astonishingly, it threatens the Tower of London, where vast stores of gunpowder lie. Here, caution becomes impossible. The tower's garrison acts without waiting for orders. They bring out black powder and use it as a weapon against flame, controlled explosions that blow whole houses into rubble, creating sudden, jagged voids the fire cannot cross. This is the turning point. By Tuesday evening, the easterly wind begins to falter. The inferno still burns in hundreds of places, but its momentum, its terrible certainty weakens. In the shifting smoke, London begins to glimpse the first outline of survival. North of the Wall, in Moorfields, a refugee city rises overnight. Tents of sailcloth and bedsheets appear in rows. Families huddle around small cooking fires, staring south at the glow that has eaten their homes. Inside the threatened zone, witnesses try to pin the moment to paper. Samuel Pepys, the Navy officer's sharp-eyed diarist, watches the flames creep toward the tower and his own neighborhood. Others climb steeples to see the city burning end to end, and they discover a new truth. A catastrophe is too large to hold in the mind, so we hold it in words. Wednesday arrives with a different sound. Not the roar of a single monster, but the crackle of many wounds. The main advance is halted. Pockets of flame still gnaw at cellars and coal stores. Some will smolder for weeks, even months. But the wind has dropped, and the lines of demolition stand like scars that saved the body. Entire parishes are gone. Streets that once echoed with trade are now silent corridors of brick dust and charred beams. Above, the sky is pale, washed out, as if the sun itself is exhausted by what it has witnessed. The official death toll is astonishingly small, only a handful recorded, yet the numbers feel inadequate beside the ruins. What is undeniable is displacement. Around 70,000 people, most of the city's inhabitants, are suddenly homeless. They sleep in fields and on the edges of London, guarding what little they saved, watching for looters, listening for more rumors. And the destruction is almost beyond comprehension. Roughly 13,000 homes are gone, 87 parish churches, the Royal Exchange, the Guildhall, the Cathedral. The beating civic heart of medieval London has been burned out of its chest. What remains is not a city, but an idea of a city, outlined in smoke, waiting to be rebuilt. In the aftermath, London stands at a crossroads between grief and invention. Plans arrive like prayers. Christopher Wren sketches a rational new city of broad avenues and ordered squares, an architecture meant to prevent a repeat of this nightmare. London will rebuild quickly and imperfectly, yet some things change forever. New building rules push brick and stone over timber. Streets are widened where they can be. The city begins to professionalize risk. Fire insurance will emerge, and buildings will one day bear metal fire marks, declaring which company might save them. Years later, a column of stone will rise near Pudding Lane, the monument, measuring not only distance from where the fire began, but distance from the innocence that existed before it. Nearby, St. Paul's will be reborn in a new form, its great dome an answer in stone to a question asked by fire. This is the paradox of cities. They are fragile, and yet they outlast us. London's Great Fire was not an apocalypse, it was a transformation. The blaze stripped the city down to foundations and ash. And still, morning comes. The Thames keeps moving. And London, scarred, begins again.